So, hello, my name is David, but you already knew that. And here I have Pastor Philip. He is the pastor or the leader of University Bible Fellowship. Right now, it's currently 3:12 p.m. on March 31st, 2022. And here's my interview. So, I have 10 questions that I came up with, and I have given them previously to Pastor Philip so he can give a more thoughtful answer. So here we are. The first question is, what does leadership mean to you?
Leadership is setting a vision and helping people follow it. You're not a leader unless people actually follow you. I read that years ago, and it's very true. Even though you're in a position of leadership, if nobody follows you, you're not a leader. So being a leader means helping people follow you. And in the Bible, Apostle Paul was a good leader. He set a vision. He said, follow me as I follow Christ. And so that was his way of leadership. And as he followed Christ, people would follow him.
Okay. So what strengths do you believe you have as a leader?
My strengths, I don't have a lot of strengths, but I'd say maybe humility, maybe enduring people in situations where maybe a lot of people wouldn't be able to endure, and patience. I think, yeah.
You said something about enduring. What does that mean?
Well, many leaders, many people are put in leadership positions and they couldn't endure a situation, or they either, for example, they blow up and then they get fired, or they just couldn't endure anymore and they just quit, right, before they can get everything situated and worked out. So yeah, I think in some sense that's one of my strengths, I think.
I see. So what do you think are your weaknesses as a leader?
I have a lot of weaknesses. Yeah. I think maybe communication is very important in a leadership position, and being clear what you want, and communicating it effectively. I think I'm improving, but I think there's still a weakness for me, and maybe being assertive, maybe another one.
I see. Okay, so what is your title, and describe a typical day in your position?
My title is senior pastor. I'm actually the only pastor here, but by default I'm the senior pastor. Typical day is I don't know if there is such thing as a typical day in a pastor's life, but there are many things happen every day. But I'd say there are many things that happen regularly, starting with prayer meetings, and personal study is very important for a pastor to study himself, and also there's a lot of administration that goes on in the church, whether it's planning conferences and communicating everything to the congregation. There's of course Bible studies to lead, and people to counsel and meet, and of course one of the main jobs is writing your Sunday message. That takes a big part of your week.
I see. Okay. What did you do today?
What did I do today? Today I worked on the Sunday message a little bit today. I gave my wife a ride to the school. She had a Bible study, and of course I attended the prayer meeting this morning, and did a few emails.
I see. Okay. Leaders make other people feel strong and confident. What do you think you do to help others feel this way?
I think my main way of doing that is through studying the Word of God and presenting it, whether it's through a Sunday message or a Bible study, and that requires me to feel confident in the Word of God and be convicted, and then I can pass that on to others in the congregation. And the other ways, just really encouraging people and thanking them for whatever they do in the church.
I see. Okay. Do you feel it's important to delegate?
Yes, it's very important to delegate. It's crucial for a leader to delegate. If you don't delegate, you're gonna be crushed. And the successful leaders, they focus on one or two things, and most things they delegate. That's the way really the successful leaders run. But at the same time, it's not easy to delegate. There are problems that you run into, and it requires people to trust you, because a lot of times people have second thoughts. Oh, you're delegating too much. What work are you doing? You're just delegating everything. Right?
Makes you look lazy.
Yes.
I see.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. When do you think is a good time to delegate?
When's a good time? Well, whenever you have people who are willing and able to do a task that needs to be done, then it's time to delegate. I feel there are some things that maybe you need to really think about before delegating. Some things maybe you couldn't delegate, or people aren't ready, so you need some wisdom for that.
Okay. What are 3 or 4 actions you believe are essential to enable others to be successful?
Giving people opportunity is very important. Of course, equipping them to be able to do whatever it is that you want them to do, and encouragement. You need to encourage them, after they've tried it and did it. Probably something else. that's what I'm.
That's okay. What advice do you have for building relationships and trust in an organization?
I think that takes a lot of time and effort, and it's really done by sacrificing your time as a leader. If the people think you don't really care about them, but you're just giving them jobs, it's not gonna end up well. Really spending time with them, doing small things for them, like remembering their birthdays and encouraging them, taking them out for lunch or dinner occasionally. Those kind of things, that they go pretty far.
I see. Sounds like a normal relationship. Okay. What do you think motivates some members of the church to volunteer their time and effort as opposed to those who don't?
No, that's a good question. I think the best answer I can come up with is, if people are called by God to serve the church, then they're more likely to actually spend their time doing so. And those who don't have a clear calling, they're less likely to do so. No matter how much you try to encourage them, humanly, it's very difficult.
Is there anything that you do personally to motivate people to volunteer and to work?
I yeah, I think it, maybe spending time with people. If you really need someone to do something, you have to also show them you develop a relationship with them. Otherwise, it's very hard for them to just accept whatever job you give them. And of course, there are people who are very spiritual and very willing to do whatever for the church, whatever for God. But that's not the normal situation.
I see. Okay. What do you think are the most that? What do you think are the most crucial components to a healthy and functioning church?
Um, I think there are two. First is leadership, good leadership. I think that's important for any organization. The better the leadership, the better the organization, and the stronger the organization. So, church needs strong leaders who are willing to do whatever it takes to fix the problem or improve the church, and work to, and the second is unity. So if a church has many leaders but they don't work together, it doesn't go anywhere. So they have to work together. Either it's it can be the pastor, he could either give his direction and they follow, or they work together and find a direction. But anyway, they have to work together. They have to be unity.
And last question: in what areas do you think the church let me restate. In what areas do you think the church needs to improve?
Several areas. I think outreach is one area the church could improve. I think we want to reach the world with the gospel and reach many people, but in reality we often fail. We couldn't reach. Seems we couldn't reach many people. So I think we have to really learn how to do that, improve how to do that. Meet people where they are. I think is very important. And then the second is I think we need to be able to defend our faith. I think many people in the church, even though they stay in the church many years, they couldn't really explain their faith to an unbeliever, or really be able to witness the God or the Bible very well, even though they every week they come to church. So that's kind of a failure in many ways, I think.
Addressing the first one where it was about outreach, what are you guys doing to increase outreach and to reach out to more people?
Well, we're going to campus and talking to students and inviting them. And we've done this for many years. We're trying to come up with a committee who can really help plan better ways to outreach and better ways to better ways to get the message out and invite students. I think that will be helpful.
Addressing your second point, do you have any tools in order to help people defend their faith?
Yeah. Well, recently in our church we started a book club, and I have a lot of hope that it may help. As we read about many classical books, especially about Christians of years ago, who are able to defend their faith and who are able to share their faith with others in difficult times, and I think that will. I'm hoping that will really help us, and also deeper Bible study, deeper messages can also help.
I see. Do you think the problems of Christians from long ago mirror their problems mirror the problems we have now?
Yeah, I think we have a lot to learn from them. When we study them, we really see the problems throughout history. They just repeat themselves. Maybe they're in a little different form, but it's the same general problem. And and we have a lot to learn from the past.
Is there anything else you'd like to say? I mean, you answered splendidly. Everything was really good. Thank you.
All right.
Is there anything else you want to say?
I don't believe so.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, that's about it. Thank you.
All right. You're welcome.